Everyone is well aware of the news happening in the Middle East, but is everything really that bad for the United Arab Emirates? Because yesterday, the airspace over the United Arab Emirates was partially closed, and planes were already landing elsewhere, such as in Oman or in other cities and countries. Guys, many investors have already started writing to me after this attack by Iran on Qatar. Of course, Qatar is right next to the United Arab Emirates. So let's take a look together, because many investors just started writing to me, Andre, what should we do? Should we withdraw our money, maybe sell our apartment? Or clients who wanted to buy started backing out? Guys, let's break everything down step by step right now. The strike that Iran carried out on Qatar was not actually directed at Qatar itself. Everyone probably knows very well that the largest US military base is located in Qatar. This base is called, I even looked it up, Al Dafra. In other words, from there, the United States coordinates the entire Far Middle East. That is, from there, the United States controls, well, all the processes, right? They have bombers there, they have fighter jets there. This is a base for 10,000 soldiers, can you imagine? So it's actually a very large base, and most likely that's where they launched strikes on Iran from. Of course, Iran won't leave this unanswered, and it sent their missiles that were shot down. But last night, as it turns out, they closed the airspace over Dubai. Well, partially closed it because we were sitting there watching it happen. Some planes were landing, some planes were even taking off, despite the fact that the airspace was closed. Everyone, of course, was very worried. Yesterday, everyone was really anxious, worried about tourism, worried about their property, worried about their investments, worried that this could even reach Dubai. My friends, right? I mean, because there are also American bases in Dubai, around Abu Dhabi, around Dubai. But these aren't such large bases, for example, as in Qatar, right? And the most interesting thing is that Dubai is a country that always, well, takes a neutral stance. That is, it did not support the aggression that has just taken place from Israel towards Iran. Then Iran bombed Israel in response, right? So the United Arab Emirates is taking a neutral position and is not getting involved in this conflict. And the most interesting thing I'll tell you is that after this conflict, many Iranians, before they started buying real estate in the United Arab Emirates, in Dubai, I have an entire department made up of Iranians, and my partner is also Iranian. So I was right in the midst of all this global news, learning everything firsthand, seeing how they were also worried because their acquaintances, friends, and relatives couldn't leave Iran or simply had no way to contact them, right? Of course, they were all very anxious, but even so, not a single major deal with Iran fell through for use. In other words, it will go ahead. Can you imagine that? Dubai is a major financial hub, my friends, a major financial hub that no one would want to destroy, because many wealthy people also keep their money here, right? In other words, people invest in the United Arab Emirates because the country lives off foreign investments that come into the United Arab Emirates, right? I think this is no secret, everyone understands this perfectly well. This is the great economy of the United Arab Emirates, which has been built over the years by attracting many investors. And just remember, for example, the times during COVID, how quickly Dubai restored tourism. Many people started writing to me saying that the skies would be closed, tourism would drop for several months, there would be no one to rent apartments to, and apartment prices would fall. Remember again the COVID times when all flights were suspended, when tourism in the United Arab Emirates dropped almost to zero. And a year later, it even broke its own tourism record, reaching the same level of activity it had before. Nothing significant would have happened. Literally in a month or a month and a half, the tourist flow would have recovered. Plus, right now it's hot, it's summer, it's the off season, so this wouldn't have had much of an impact anyway. So my friends, keep this in mind as well. There's no need to panic or worry. In general, the United Arab Emirates fully understands the need to protect their country, which is why their air defense system is also one of the best. Fact 3. The air defense system intercepts ballistic missiles while they're still approaching. Then there's THAAD, the most advanced US system, which is deployed in Abu Dhabi and covers Dubai. This system is extremely powerful and would protect the United Arab Emirates. Additionally, there was an instance when the United Arab Emirates also shot down missiles during unrest in the Middle East. And all of this can be found in the news. As soon as something happens somewhere, everyone starts panicking, oh wow, oh no, that's it, it's over, it's the end. And at the same time, they can't take a closer look to figure out what exactly they should be paying attention to. Is this threat actually real today or not? Well, come on guys, if there are wars going on in other countries, people immediately start coming here. Remember the times when in 2022 the conflict began on our territories and how many people came here, how much investment flowed into the United Arab Emirates. So people didn't choose other countries, they specifically chose Dubai, Abu Dhabi. In other words, the United Arab Emirates and Dubai understands this perfectly. Plus, now, when we had this conflict, it was later called the 12-day war. I think everyone woke up this morning and heard the good news that Iran and Israel have finally reached an agreement. Even Trump, I believe, wrote on his Twitter that the war is over, that Israel and Iran have already come to an agreement, right? I think soon all of this will come to an end. Everything will return to normal. They won't close our Arabian Gulf, which Iran threatened to shut down, because that would have affected not only the economy of the United Arab Emirates, but really the whole world, since that channel handles 20% of the world's shipping. Can you imagine? These are major ports, and we have them here too in the United Arab Emirates. Just look at Jebel Ali, right? So my friends, none of that has happened. God willing, all of this will end soon. And then we'll be able to live our lives again, right? So investors who are buying apartments in the United Arab Emirates shouldn't worry. Investors should clearly understand that even if they are buying now, they are buying in a country that fully understands its risks and carefully thinks through every step in advance. Because if the United Arab Emirates were to get involved in something, which I honestly can't even imagine happening, since the UAE maintains neutrality with everyone. That is, it maintains friendships and communicates with everyone, right? In other words, the country is always ready to help others sit down at the negotiating table to discuss things so that wars do not continue. So my friends, that's basically it. I think I've told you a little about this. Once again, to put it briefly, the United Arab Emirates is a neutral country that does not get involved in any conflicts. Also, yes, there are American bases here, but their own air defense system is also highly developed, right? That Aizen, most importantly, guys, the most important thing is that the United Arab Emirates does not give permission to third countries, for example, such as the United States, to use their bases located here in the UAE to launch strikes against other countries, in other words, to wage war from their territory. It's the same as with Qatar, because as I understand it, Qatar gave permission, right? Because of this, Iran aimed missiles at Qatar. We have bases, but to carry out any actions from here against other countries, well, they simply don't give permission. And here, of course, everyone realized that Iran's intentions are quite serious and that to continue at this pace would be risky, especially since Iran is a very large and significant country. In other words, it's not a small country, it's a country that also has a considerable military potential, right? So as I was watching the news yesterday, and as it was explained to me, because Iran is such a large country, it's possible to deploy missiles there, especially since it's a mountainous region, in the mountains, somewhere, I don't know, all across the country, so that no satellite system would be able to detect these missiles. So many countries understand this perfectly well, and the United States also realizes that continuing this war is pointless, right? Especially with such a major player as Iran, which also has many countries backing it. I even remember a video where Jirinovsky said that Iran should not be touched, that a war with Iran should not be provoked. They realize that there's no need to measure their strength against each other, right? In other words, there are casualties on both sides and there is destruction on both sides, which is unnecessary. It's better to live peacefully, calmly, and in harmony, isn't it? So let me reassure my investors, guys, don't worry about the real estate market in the United Arab Emirates. Everything that's happening in the world, all these moments, people, of course, now see instability in other countries, for example, in Iran. Let me tell you, there will be a large influx from Iran to buy real estate in Dubai. That's exactly how it is. The flow from Israel was already happening, and now it will intensify again because people always want to preserve their money. And when they realize there's instability, that there's some kind of war happening in their country, people want to move their money out. Where do they move it? To the United Arab Emirates? Plus, of course, not everyone, not all, but right now in my company, yes, in Empire City, there are a lot of buyers from England, buyers from Europe. So people in Europe are buying a lot because of high taxes and economic instability in Europe. Plus, people don't understand where Europe is heading. I'm telling you how it is. This is what I hear when I talk to clients, what clients tell me. Even foreign clients, non-Russian speakers who come to our office and whom I talk to, they, to these clients, are very concerned about the whole situation. And of course, they're looking for ways to simply, dock their money somewhere, right? And for now, the UAE is quite a market that allows you to do this because the market is growing, the real estate is unique, the real estate is top-notch. So that's why I think everything will be fine. And also, recently, one of my clients, when all this started, said, Andre, maybe I shouldn't buy. I convinced him. I said, no, wait. If you back out now, you'll be showing weakness because if this happens, yes, and it spreads on a large scale, if there hadn't been this 12-day war, if the conflict had gone further, then of course, the whole world would have just been unlucky. That's how it is. And no matter where you bought real estate, no matter where you kept your money, none of it would have mattered at all. My friends, so this was Andrei Alexiev with you. I shared a few thoughts, told you a bit about what I think, what's on my mind, right? So thank God it's all over. Thank God it's all come to an end. I hope everything will be fine for us. That's all. Goodbye, everyone.